What's up, everybody? I hope you are all handling this plague well and are staying healthy as you are quarantined in your home. Pay no mind to the fact that I'm at the gym, not at home. Just don't worry about that. But as we all deal with this reality that is being stuck in our houses, possibly even more restricted than we currently are in the next couple of days here, I want to try to bring some material to the interwebs that give some practical and useful information for you guys to continue to train and stay fit while stuck in your house and while the gyms are all closed down. So I've been posting a handful of videos on Instagram and Facebook. I'm going to try to convert those over in a longer form to YouTube so they're a little bit more useful for you guys, and they're a little bit easier to find than being buried on our Instagram feed. And then I'm going to continue this trend and make a handful more videos depending on how long this thing lasts. We'll see how long I have to. But today's workout, in contrast to the last couple that I've done, is a workout for people with some equipment. So I know the last two videos that I've done, no equipment, kind of using some stuff from around the house, some furniture, whatever. This video is for someone who has a set of dumbbells or who has access to something, I guess even like similar to dumbbells, kettlebells will probably work as well, or something, maybe bricks. You have bricks you can hold, do that. But I'm going to use 20-pound dumbbells for this workout. If you have light weights, it's a little too easy. As we go through the different exercises, I'll kind of give you some modifications and ways to make them a little bit more challenging whenever your weights are lighter than what I might have or what someone else might have. But as my clients know, I like to start off every workout with some mobility work. We do a full body comprehensive warm-up here at K-Specific Wellness, just to kind of get everything primed, mobilized, and ready to go for your workout. I want you guys to all do that. If you don't know a warm-up routine, just look some stuff up on YouTube. You'll find something good from someone. I have no doubt. I'm going to include a couple of stretches in this just for the sake of some material, but I don't want to put an entire mobility routine in this video just to keep it a little shorter than it would otherwise be. So what I'm going to start with today is a piriformis stretch. Your piriformis is a little muscle kind of back on your butt cheek. It gets tight for a lot of people who are always in a seated position or always hunched over, and it can cause some low back pain and just general hip tightness. So the first thing we're going to do is stretch that out. There's a lot of ways to do this. I'll show you one or two variations here, again with limited equipment. The first one is just dropping down onto the floor, crossing one leg over, and what we're going to do, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video here, is I'm going to sit my butt back and kind of over to try to create almost a 90-degree angle between this front shin and that back leg. And as I do that, I can feel it tightening up over here in my butt cheek. And what I want to do is just kind of drop down on my elbows and get deep into that stretch. So I'm going to hold that for a few seconds, and I'm going to walk it right over to the other side and do the same thing over here. Again, getting a nice stretch in my hip, holding for a few seconds, and coming out of it. Now, that's the first variation. There's a little bit more regressed, it's a little bit easier, you're not in quite as deep of a stretch. In this situation, I have this couch that's not a bench, it's a couch or a chair, probably with a pillow on it so it doesn't get too uncomfortable. But another way that you can stretch this out, and I'm going to do my best here, but mine are a little bit too tight for this as well, is we can put one foot up on that bench or couch, drop that knee down, here. Now that is a deep, deep stretch there, and you can see how my body's wanting to fall over here towards the camera in that way. So I'm going to hold myself upright, hold that stretch for, we'll say 5 to 10 seconds, pop up out of it, and you can switch to the other side, which I probably should do just for the sake of keeping my hips even. This side's really tight, it hurts. But that is one area of the hips that we definitely want to work on mobilizing a little bit. You can see there, for someone who stretches pretty regularly and works out regularly. Mine are still super tight. And so apparently it's something I need to work on too. But moving on from that, a hip flexor stretch. And what I'll show you guys is a nice way to kind of combine these two stretches into one movement that makes it a little bit more time efficient. But until I show you that, I'll split them apart into two. And the way we're going to structure a hip flexion in this case, put a pillow on the floor. There's a disclaimer for you. Put a pillow on the floor because this hurts. This is not comfortable. We're going to get in this lunge position here. And all I'm going to do is kind of put this foot out past 90 degrees. I'm going to drive the knee straight forward and this back hip's going to go straight down towards the floor. So I'm going to just push down into that position. And you're going to feel this stretch across this hip and all the way down into this quad, pulling the whole way through there. Again, we'll hold that 5 or 10 seconds, 5 reps we'll say. You can switch sides, do the same thing over here. Leaning into that stretch and driving the hip down towards the floor. Now, a version of this, and I'm going to put a pad down just to remind you because it hurts. My knees are sensitive. We're going to put a foot up on the couch, drop the knee down to the floor, sit up nice and tall, and then again, you can step that foot out a little bit past 90 if you want, and drive the hip forward into it, and again, you're going to feel that stretch like crazy. Putting this knee into this hyperflex position really pulls on that quad and that hip flexor, and allows us to get a good stretch across that joint. And again, that's a little bit more challenging version of the stretch, but it's a very good one for those of you who might have a little bit more mobility. Now, for that combination move I was talking about a second ago, what we're going to do is we're going to start with that floor hip flexor stretch. We're going to drive the knee forward. Again, getting a good stretch here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing this leg out and around, get myself right into that pigeon stretch that I was just showing you for the piriformis. So I should turn a little bit so you guys can see that better. I'm going to drive forward, get my stretch. I'm going to push up out of it, swing the leg, sit right down into my pigeon. And my foot's off the camera now. It's gone. So we're down in our pigeon position, bring it right back up, and stretching again. Again, hold that for a few seconds, maybe 3 to 5 reps on each side. Those are your 2 lower body mobility movements right there. And then we'll do one upper body movement, as well as an activator. We're going to lay face down on, hope you guys can see this after I get down there. Now in this position, we want to get our upper back and the backs of our shoulders all lit up. That's an area of your body that tends to get inhibited from being hunched over a computer or sitting on a desk all day. The backs of your shoulders and muscles get loosened and weak. And so we want to get them fired up a little bit and get them activated and ready to go for this workout. So what we're going to do, arms are straight out in front of us, and we're going to lift our hands up off the floor as high as we can. We're going to keep them as high as possible and swing them around behind our back. Turn them over and put them on our low back now. And I was just telling people, pull your elbows towards the ceiling. So you can see my hands are staying on my low back. I'm pulling my elbows up. And then I'm going to keep that tension. Keep the hands up high. My palms are still facing the ceiling as far as I can. And then I'm turning over and reaching out in front. And I would say do 5 to 10 of those. The more tension you keep in that, the more it's going to burn your shoulders and knock you down faster. So max tension, get the shoulders fired up. And again, that's just 3 little quick mobility and activator exercises to get you ready for this workout. I encourage you to do more on your own, but it's at least something. So next clip of the video will be the start of the actual workout. All right, so as promised, today's workout is a workout for someone who has dumbbells or something similar to dumbbells at their house. Rather than have this workout be another circuit, which is what my last couple have been, I am actually going to split this up into segments like I would for a workout with a client in the gym. So we're going to do 3 exercises in a group. We'll run through those however many sets, which I'm going to give you guys a little bit of option. It's a little bit of freedom to choose, we'll say. how many sets and reps you do, and I'll explain that as we go along here. But this first part's going to be kind of an upper body and core section. So the first exercise we're going to do is a bent over row with our dumbbells. Now this is not normally something someone who hasn't been training with me enough to have practiced hip hinging, but I'm going to do my best to explain on this video. Do your best with it, and if you start to feel something in the low back, that's where we need to make a change. And reach out to me, and we can kind of work on that and see if we can fix that with you. But to get into the movement, I'm standing up, I'm going to grab my dumbbells carefully. I'm going to get down in a nice, good position here. Pick them up carefully because I'm a good coach. I'm going to tell you how to do that right. So the way that I'm going to show this is with an isometric hold first. This is for someone who the weight that they have is not super heavy for them, and so we need to keep a little bit more time under tension in order to get a good burn on the muscle. This is an option. You don't have to do this, but it's an option if your weights are light. So our hip hinge. Our knees are loose, feet are about shoulder width. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep tension on my upper back and my abs. Straight back. You can see my butt moving back and my chest is dropping, but what I'm not doing is just rounding over with my back, and I'm not arching like crazy like this. Abs are tight, shoulder blades are tight, butt goes straight back. Now in this position, I feel the tension back to my hamstrings, not my low back. What I'm going to do now is pull these dumbbells straight up to my sides. And again, like discussed, I'm going to do that isometric hold. So I'm pushing my chest down towards the floor, pulling my shoulder blades together, squeezing that as tight as I can. I'm going to hold that for say 20 to 30 seconds, depending on the weight. And I'm going to follow that with reps. So I'm going to drop the dumbbells down with my arms high. Control down, drop my elbows straight back and squeeze. Again, I'll give you guys freedom for sets and reps. The easier these are for you, the longer I want you to hold that hold, and the slower I want you to control your reps on the way down. You can still come up quick, but I want you to control down for 3 to 5 seconds, really slow and under control before coming back up. And again, that's just going to kind of amplify our time under tension and allow us a little bit more opportunity to get those muscles firing. Following that, we're going to do a push-up. So again, I'm a big stickler, and my clients will tell you, huge stickler for core bracing and keeping everything tight for your midsection whenever we're doing push-ups especially. So I'm going to do my best to coach after the video again. But if you start to feel your low back dipping down, reevaluate, okay? So in this case, because it's a dumbbell using video, we're going to use the dumbbells to get a little extra range of motion at the bottom. You might not need this, that's okay. But hands on the dumbbells, we're popping our feet up into a push-up position. And again, I'm locking down the abs. What I'm going to do is control down my elbows. Back to the top. Just like on that last exercise. The slower I want you to control it, or you could also even just go high reps on that. The same is actually go for those of you who this is a challenge for. I want you to control this as slow as possible. So we're going to go from the top, super, super slow. I'm going to keep it tight. I might be struggling. I'm pushing, pushing, pushing. I might drop the last couple inches. You can't push yourself back up. It's just kind of sit your butt back, reset at the top. Again, freedom for your reps, your sets. I want that to be reasonably challenging. And then on your last set, you really burn it out and get as many as possible. You don't have to kill yourself every set, but you should be struggling by the time you finish that. That's exercise 1 and 2. Third exercise, we have an overhead sit-up. So in this case, I'm going to tuck my feet under my couch to hold my toes down. I'm going to lay back. I hope you guys can see. Yeah, it looks like it. Now, again, dumbbell workout. We're going to use dumbbells.
You might not need 2, you might just need 1. That's okay too. We're going to point those dumbbells straight up towards the ceiling. And what we're going to do is do a sit-up and try to make a straight line with my arms as I sit up towards the ceiling. And I'm saying that, and I know I'm going to make a terrible demonstration of it in this video. So do as I say, not as I do, just in case that's bad. But sitting up, pushing the dumbbells straight up overhead, and controlling it back down to the floor. That might not have been too bad, I can't tell. Pushing straight up, controlling back down to the floor. Now again, like I said, your dumbbells might be heavier, and 1 might be just enough. Pulling the dumbbell overhead, pushing straight up. I feel that my abs, the tops of my thighs. Push straight up, control that. And let's say 1 dumbbell that you have is still too easy or still too heavy. Let's just go straight up, right from the ceiling, controlling down. Just like the last couple guys, the abs are a little bit different. You can kind of burn them pretty good. But make sure you have enough in the tank to finish your 3 to however many sets you want to do. That's your first 3 exercises. Lower body, stay tuned. Because I have to keep moving the camera around and fit everything. I don't know how well this is going to work for this video. But, as promised, next section of this video is lower body. The first thing we're going to do is a squat variation. So I have listed here a goblet squat or a front rack squat. So again, it kind of depends on how heavy your dumbbells are. For these 20s, I would do a front rack squat. But for someone who is a little bit less experienced, we might do a goblet squat. In which case, we're going to hold our dumbbell vertically with our hands right under the head of it, and we're going to keep it right against our chest here. For those of you doing a front rack variation, I'm going to take both dumbbells, I'm going to put them on my shoulders and kind of push my elbows forward to make a surface for them to sit right there. Okay? So I'm going to back up so you guys can hopefully see me in this video. I'm holding my dumbbells here. I'll turn to the side so you guys get a good view of this. And what I'm going to do with my squat, I'm finding my comfortable squat width. My toes are angled out just a little bit. I always coach people to start with their hips on their squat. So rather than drop hips and knees at the same time, I'm going to tell them to pick their butt back first and then drop down nice and low into their squat, keeping their knees pushed apart. We're going to push straight up into the balls and heels of your feet. Lock our hips out at the top, so I'm squeezing my butt. Hips back, down, drive straight up, squeeze my butt. Now I'll do that with a goblet position as well, just so you guys can get a feel for it. Hold the dumbbell against my chest, butt back, down, pushing in, flat down on the floor with the balls against my feet. Now, again, if the weight's light, we want to increase our time under tension. So we might come down and hold for a few seconds in this bottom position, create a burn there, and then push up. That will drastically increase the intensity of that set if the weights are a little bit light for you. For that, let's focus on a lot of time under tension and getting a really deep burn in our legs. Coming out of that, the quads, the glutes, the hands, everything on fire. All right? Burning. Next exercise we're going to do is step-ups, assumably with steps in your house. Now, I am in a one-floor gym right now. I don't have stairs, so I built this nice staircase out of aerobics, steps, and a bench. I'm going to do my best to demonstrate this. Now, and so we're more than likely going to take a couple steps at a time on each one. But for the sake of demonstrating a good step-up technique, let me adjust this a little bit so I can get my full, hopefully that's everything in the picture. Then you guys can't see the bottom foot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't freaking matter. Here's what we're looking at. When we do a step-up, that top leg, the steps, is our working leg. This bottom leg is not doing anything. And if you could see outside the camera there, what I'm actually going to have you guys do with that bottom leg is lift the toes up. And what that disallows for is pushing through your toe like this. So we're going to lift the toe and push only into that front leg. right? So now you know what I'm doing with that bottom leg on the floor. This step's a little bit higher. I'm leaning over, keeping my weight in my front leg, pushing through the ball with my foot and my heel at the same time, keeping it nice and flat. I'm pushing up and not using that back leg to push off the floor, okay? Now, when you do that, I say okay like you guys can answer me. I hope you got it. Doesn't matter if you didn't though. Now, with our dumbbells, you could potentially take your staircase one at a time, just orienting your way up. Don't come back down backwards. But the idea behind this was that we would be taking multiple steps at a time. So if this is a real staircase, I'm going to take 2 or 3 steps, lean into it, and push up off that front leg, right at my next step on the next set of 2 or 3. Now, if that big range, because I want you guys in that deep hip flexion position right there and driving up out, because that's where we're really going to get your butt fired up. If that's too much with the dumbbells, just ditch them. You don't need to use it for it. But if it's a little bit light for you and you have good control over that and you're able to push off the top leg and not use the weight, awesome. Do it for sure. Do this to a point where you can't step up without pushing off that bottom leg, right? So make it challenging enough that you get a good burn and you can't do it correctly. But that is always when we start the set. When the form starts to break down, set is cut off. Final exercise for this, kind of upper body, a little bit of core engagement as well. We're going to do an overhead carry. So in these last two, we're keeping our upper back and our chest, everything nice and tall. We just want to add a little bit of stability work into that so that we're getting some extra activation in that area. So for our overhead carry, if we're doing 2 dumbbells, we're going to carefully bring them off the shoulders, press them straight up overhead. Now in this position, you're going to feel a little bit wobbly, like you want to rock around. So just like before, we're locking the ribs down towards the hips, keeping the abs tight. I'm just going to take a nice walk. I'm going to walk up to my camera here. You get a good view of my legs and my butt. Turn around. You can see I'm just driving my hands to the ceiling. Walking back. There's no set distance for this, but you're going to get to a point where you're kind of starting to drop with our dumbbells a little bit. We can't hold them up. Put them down, call the set. Now, just the same, you could do that single arm to add a little bit of core instability to it, where now this opposite side oblique holds you upright and level. You're going to feel an extra burn in that arm trying to stabilize just one side. Don't drop a dumbbell on your head. That's the important part of this one, okay? No injuries. Do it until your arms are burning and your core is a little shaky, and then stop. Don't kill yourself. The last round, a little bit of mix of everything, some abdominals, some accessory work. Hope you guys are enjoying this workout so far. There's a little bit left to go. Keep me updated after the video and stay tuned for the next part. All right, everybody, you have made it through 2/3 of this workout. I hope it's going well for you so far. This last part, as I mentioned a little bit in the previous session, a little bit of accessory work. We're going to do some arms and a little bit of core as well. I'm actually going to start you guys off with the core. So we have our position from doing our push-ups on the dumbbells. We know that position now. We're going to return to that when we call Renegade Row. So dumbbells on the floor, the open area, abs tight, very. And we're going to take a little bit wider foot stance here, and I'll show you why. Because what we're going to do, my body does not feel confident in this right now, is we're going to pull one dumbbell, up off the floor, to our side, hold that, back down. Now when you do that, you might have noticed on my first rep that was bad, that opposite side foot's going to want to lift. So we want to actively push down into that and squeeze our abs. And we're trying to keep our hips from going like this as well. So again, bracing everything, keeping that as tight as humanly possible as we just pull that arm back and put it back down. Something you're probably going to notice doing this. Your hands are going to hurt from being on the hands of the dumbbell. The secret to that is one of 2 things. The tougher version, cooler version, is squeeze the hand as tight as possible. So the more you squeeze on that, the more it distributes that force around your hand. So aside from that, what you can do one at a time, where one hand is flat on the floor, up, hold, back down, hold, back down. I generally tell people 6 to 10 each side, so we want it to be tight. We don't want your core rocking or your hips rocking around. We don't want your core and your low back starting to arch. So use your own judgment on that. I like to alternate, even side to side. But again, if you want to go one side at a time, if you're confident in your ability to do that, great, go for it. Give those a try, see what you think. Following that, we're going to go now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to do them kneeling, just so you guys can see me. Understand that you don't have to kneel when doing these. You can stand up. I just have my phone in the horizontal orientation. If I stand up, my head's up out of the camera. So, kneeling dumbbell bicep curls. I'm standing here, chest is nice and tall, shoulder blades are back, and I'm just going to add a little rotation to these just to make it easier. At least to demonstrate. So I'm starting with my palms facing my legs. I'm going to keep my elbows pinned right to my side. I'm not going to let them swing forward back. I'm going to just rotate the dumbbells, bring them up and squeeze my biceps to the top. And again, you can see my elbows are staying right in line with my torso, controlling them down to a straight arm position. Again, I'm a stickler for a full range of motion, so I don't want to see this as you come down. You see the elbows stay right where they're at. You want to come up and back down. Just focus on getting a good squeeze at the top and controlling that down slow to a straight position. Your biceps will be on fire. Even if this is, if it's too light, again, these isometric holds all day. Something I like to do with clients here is walk and carry in this position. You want a nice burn on your biceps with your light weight, try that. I promise, you're going to feel it. Last exercise. Oh, on arm stuff. Burn it out. Make it hurt to the point of failure. Once your arms start swinging too much, stop. Or if you're doing this, stop. But light them up. Final exercise. Dumbbell skull crusher. Don't be afraid of the name if you're not familiar with skull crushers. Just, can they crush your skull? Yes. It's not likely if you have good control over it. And if not, I'll show you some other stuff you can do. But we're laying flat on our back, staring directly at the light bulb in the ceiling and burning our eye sockets out. On that, dumbbells straight up towards the ceiling. And I'm going to keep my elbows pointed straight up, just like they are. And let my hands fall back to the outside of my head, not my forehead. Outside. Elbows still pointed up. I'm going to extend out. Elbows come down. I extend out and lock it out. Now, again, if the weights you have are a little too heavy for this, you could theoretically do one hand. It would be a little uncomfortable. But you could hold that dumbbell with one hand and do the same thing. I actually just thought of that right here. That's a way to modify it if it's way too heavy. If it's not horrible, it's a close grip dumbbell press from the floor. So elbows are resting on the floor, and we just drive straight up and lock them out. Control it down on the floor, straight up and lock it out. Always squeezing these tight so that they're not rocking around all over the place and potentially being dropped on our head. Touch on the floor, push up. Again, I'm emphasizing that lockout. Like I said for the bicep curls, guys, for the arm stuff, the accessories, burn it, make it hurt. Those muscles can handle a little bit more volume, and so that's going to be beneficial, and you're going to walk away from your at-home workout with a nice pump, feeling satisfied. So, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this workout. And you don't just watch it and laugh at me being weird on camera, please let me know. Give us some feedback on what you thought of it. I hope it works well for you. I hope it's something you can use regularly for as long as this wild virus continues. Hopefully it doesn't last too long, but you never know. So I will be posting more along with this video, but again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep in touch. If you have any questions, reach out to us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook at K-Specific Wellness. I'm on Instagram at jrow094. I'm always happy to answer questions. And stay tuned for more workouts. Stay healthy. Quad shot.